New tonight, we are learning more details about a deadly dog attack from 2 weeks ago. NBC4 told you about a family dog attacking and killing a baby, and Franklin County Animal Control was investigating.
And now new documents are giving us insight into this tragedy. NBC4's Isabel Cleary is here to explain. Isabel.
Carrie, Colleen, the documents I requested give us more insight into the dog that attacked the baby, as well as how this happened. We now know the dog was placed on a 10-day quarantine starting April 10th, one day after the attack. I reached out to Franklin County Animal Control asking where the dog is now, but have not heard back. On April 9th, Columbus police say a 7-month-old girl was attacked by a family dog inside her home and died on the way to the hospital. Officer notes say the attacking dog ran out of a bedroom and latched onto the baby's head. While we were at the scene, we saw 3 dogs taken into custody by Animal Control. The document shows the attacking dog is a 3-year-old Terrier Pit Bull mix. However, all 3 dogs are listed as suspects. CPD told us earlier this month that this was a tragic accident and they would not be filing charges. All
right. So I just want to make this video about that right there. This idea that dog attacks are accidents. All the streams Monday through Friday will be relatively short, and the next 2 or 3 streams will be only available for the members. And I will go back public this weekend. This idea that these are accidents. What's an accident? What's the definition of an accident? An unfortunate incident that happens unexpectedly and unintentionally, typically resulting in damage or injury. A crash, for example, involving road or other vehicles, typically one that causes serious damage or injury. An event that happens by chance or that is without apparent or deliberate cause. Now, does this sound like a dog attack to you? An automobile accident, for example. Think about an automobile accident. You have a crash, but neither one of you tried to do that. You cannot call a traffic accident an accident if you were running red lights. You can't say that you had an accident if you were running stop signs. If you were doing things to actually cause an accident, you can't turn around and claim to have had an accident or to have been involved in an accident. That's the best comparison with dog attacks. These people are doing things to cause a dog attack to come about. When you hear these stories, like with the one you just heard, where a newborn, this was uploaded recently, by the way, 17 hours ago. It's just an update of that attack in Columbus that happened, it was about a week ago now, where this dog just out of nowhere, for no reason, bolted from one room to another, latched on to the head of a 7-month-old newborn. And they calling this an accident? No. How'd the dog get in the home? Was it accidentally living in the home? You have to say that the dog's presence is an accident to claim that the attack was an accident. Just how dog lovers and everyone, they'll point towards an open gate, a crack in a fence, as the reason why someone was attacked by a dog. because everybody assumes that if a dog escapes an enclosure, the first thing it wants to do is look for someone or something to attack. We all know that. But we don't want to speak based on reality. These are not accidents. You go to the shelter and acquire killers, not by accident. You bring them into the home, allow them to live in the home purposely. You do all of this consciously. You know what even makes it worse? They are also aware of the threat. You're aware that an attack is possible, and you do it anyway. You don't get to then say it was an accident, as if you didn't play a part in the attack itself. Imagine if you are the victim. You're sitting there with no face. Okay? You just got mauled by a dog. And then somebody comes and tells you that your parent had nothing to do with it and that this was an accident. Wouldn't you feel like that was a lie? You're a kid. You're 5, 6 years old. You're laid up in the hospital. You just got attacked by a dog. They come tell you your parent had nothing to do with this attack and that was an accident. No. They acquired the dog. They allowed it to live there. They fed it every day, which means they kept it alive and in good health. They kept it healthy enough to launch these attacks. Not accidental. What part of these attacks is accidental? Specifically, since y'all have been saying this for decades, that these are accidents. Accidents are not complicated to understand. You accidentally drop something. You're not trying to drop something. If you're tossing something in the air, something valuable, if you drop it, you can't call that an accident. You understand? It's no longer an accident. You're being an idiot. You're being reckless. Your recklessness caused this to happen. But each and every time, these people get off scot-free. They do all these things to strategically place these dogs inside of these homes with defenseless victims. And the dog lives there as if that is a doghouse. Do people even remember what doghouses are anymore? Dogs were never meant to live with us. Why do you think we created doghouses? Why do you think they existed? Think about that. The creation of doghouses, that was our earliest idea of how a dog could coexist with us. We were not thinking in terms of having these things inside our homes, on our beds, and our furniture. That had to be drilled into the public. That had to be brainwashed into the masses. And now today, look at you. Dealing with cases like this. You're going backwards.
A tragic accident, and they would not be filing charges. I also requested any other incidents going back to 2020 involving these dogs. According to the documents I received, there was a minor incident in 2021 where one of the other dogs got loose and attacked another dog. Colleen.
Isabel.
These people kill me, giving dogs human status. That's what they're doing. trying to project this idea that a dog's nature and instinct is not to attack. Okay? You can't call these accidents. Dog attacks don't fit in any of these definitions. You can't say it's unexpected. You have to say it's expected. You got a dog in the home. If I ask you, okay, if there's a dog attack, in which home would it happen in? You point towards the homes where dogs are present, right? Which means what? The dog attacks are expected in this home. They don't fit any of these descriptions. You can't say it's unintentional. When you putting things in place for these attacks to happen. And on top of that, you have a history of consistent attacks as proof that it's going to happen. So don't let these people control the narrative. That's how they acquire power. They acquire power by controlling definition. These people try to avoid being held accountable themselves by calling these accidents. That helps the dog owner, which is usually the parent, to remove the guilt of causing these accidents. It's a sick culture, right? That's very sick. Where you whip up this myth and lie and force yourself to believe it in order to remove the guilt of the sick activities you're involved in. Sort of like with slavery, right? It's God. God wants it this way. And they get the masses of white people to believe it so that they, don't feel guilty. This the same scenario. Oh, it's an accident. I didn't mean for it to happen. Meanwhile, you didn't put in every necessary thing for it to happen. But now you think you get to claim that it was an accident? No, I don't think so. People should talk about this more, because all of these cases are called accidents. Yet, none of them are accidents. That's definitely something to talk about. Shout out to all of you able to join me for this brief live stream. Hope you can join me on the next as we continue with this crusade.